At the moment, January is becoming a bit of a madness right now. After Ornstein released that breaking news that we have made inquiries for both Garnacho and Jamie Barnard-Gittins, I've decided that there's enough meat in these stories now to do a reaction video on both of these wingers, starting today with Alejandro Garnacho. He's just turned 20 years old, but already he finds himself a very controversial figure. There's no in-betweens for Garnacho. He's either the next second coming of Ronaldo and the next superstar, or he's vastly overrated and is set to play for Everton in the not too distant future. For myself, Garnacho is the definition of rawness. The end product just doesn't yet match his great output, but it's his output which shows his potential and shows the type of player he may become. He's currently struggling under Amorim, as Amorim is expecting him to play more of an inside forward role, and Garnacho clearly needs a bit more time to fulfill that need. However, he does have the raw attributes that could one day make him that guy. Last season, he played close to 4,000 minutes of football from the age of 18 to 19. Most senior players aren't even reaching those numbers until their early 20s. In 50 appearances, 10 goals, 5 assists, and you're not playing that often if you don't have the talent or the potential. But right now, with all eyes and attention surrounding Garnacho's future, it is time to do a reaction video to understand what's going on. Being under the spotlight so young, it can't be easy. You're constantly scrutinized, you're under immense pressure. And with Garnacho, there is no middle ground behind any discussions around him. But today, I want to have that. So I hope you guys enjoy, share your thoughts and opinions, and let's look at what Garnacho could be offering us if we make this move. I mean, you know what? I see why certain man don't maybe like Garnacho personally. Listen, I'm too old to be caring about what the youngers are doing, so I kind of stay away from that, to be fair with you. But listen, he made his impact last season. There's clearly something to the kids. But myself, I find it kind of interesting why we're deciding, of course, to potentially make a move. But here in this moment, that's Garnacho at his direct best. One thing I'll give this kid a lot of credit for is mentality. You know, his confidence in himself. He's got the potential to be a very, great ball striker of the ball, because he's finished some great goals for United already. Very high volumes in terms of his willingness to commit to his man, and most importantly, get inside that box too. He shows he can play on the right flank and down the left flank too. Cuts inside, and he wins that foul, which he does do quite a lot already at a young age. I wouldn't say he's the most unique dribbler we've seen, but he's consistent. He's a strong runner. He knows how to use his pace and explode in the short distances. But one thing I like about Garnacho, which I think is low-key underrated, is his ability to know how to get inside the box and into it. Here, he profits from that, but that's typically Garnacho, right? He'll find himself coming on the end of moves. And I think about what he could look like when he's 24, 25, when he already possessed this confidence to be able to be assertive like this. See, this is the goal he scored against us. It's not a fluke that he constantly finds himself 1v1 in these areas. This is the type of player he'll become as he gets better, as he improves. Yeah, I hate the fact that no matter how many struggles we've seen from United, we still can't beat them. Nah, it has to change, man. I'm sorry. On a personal note, it's got to be different, man. And, see, he wins that. Close control, but Garnacho shows this willingness to run towards goal because he trusts his shooting technique. Little step over, right to the byline, across goal, and he's unlucky not to force something there. But see, he's a very strong runner over the short, medium, and long distances. He's a powerful runner. That's going to help him. I think that's one of the reasons why he's found himself playing so much football at a very young age, getting so much access way too early. There's a conversation though, is it too many minutes too soon? Because you'll burn out. You'll burn out. So you have 4,000 minutes where you're playing 50 games last season and a Copa America tour too, and you've just turned 20 years old. I mean, that's quite a lot. Anyway, here, Garnacho at his counter-attacking best. Listen, he probably needs at least 5, 6, 7 opportunities to score a goal. But when you look at someone like a Garnacho, when you're making a move for him, you're not buying him for right now. You're buying him for the player you think he's eventually set to become right. Great finish with his left foot, and he shows, again, confidence in his ball striking. Takes it first time, foot over the ball, and yeah, I think that's a good shot. That's away from the keeper. A little deflection there, but again, he finds himself in these moments, and he came with many crucial match-winning goals for United last season. Runs in the books, close control, and he wins the penalty. Now, we've had players like this, Solomon Kalou. I mean, I thought he was low-key underrated, but he had this ability to constantly, draw fouls, relieve the team of pressure. And you have to think to yourself, you've got Jadon Sancho, who's come to a different environment and shined a bit more. And under Maresca, we want more of a winger, someone who's an outlet out wide. And I think for Garnacho right now, I think if he was to remain at United, he would need time to get used to Amarim's ideas. It won't happen overnight. But if he came to us, I feel number one, his minutes would be balanced a bit better because we have other talents ahead of him. And most importantly, I feel like he would be a great super sub player to turn towards, who injects a different bit of pace into the game, who's looking to make an impact every single time he plays, and offers us a bit of a direct threat on the counter-attack where you think to yourself, listen, if we have the lead, if it's 2-1, 2-0 our way, and you're replacing Sancho for a powerful runner in Garnacho, of course, to take opposition straight to the byline, run towards goal. That is the option we've been hoping to look for, and that's why we signed Mykhailo Mudryk to be that player. Then we have to admit, has Mudryk shown maybe half of what Garnacho has shown at the moment? Absolutely not. We have to keep it real. But again, his ball striking, attempting efforts outside the box, nice hards, and again, getting on the ends of moves right here too. I mean, we're forgetting the performance he played against us. Great counter-attacking performance. And yet again, he is the one getting on the end of moves. Show this personality, he's so young. There's a lot of transferable qualities in his game that could be worked upon. I'd be curious to know if Maresca was willing to work with a Garnacho. Conte is, many managers are. Of course, he still makes a lot of mistakes in this game. A lot of that is youthful and experience. A lot of that can come from maybe ruining the counter-attacks by not being in the right positions. A lot of that can be from not getting his shots on target after doing the great work of being in those positions to begin with. And just decision-making sometimes when it matters in the final third. But when you judge players for their potential, you have to look at how do they find themselves in these positions. That's the difference. And the fact that he's regularly in these positions to influence the game for his team in a positive way, this is what makes him a talent that many teams may consider actually taking a gamble on, because is it that much of a gamble when he's showing that he can sustain the intensity at this level? And when he shows that he's got a lot of upside behind himself with his incredible movement, I think his movement shows the intelligence of the player. I mean, in terms of the FBref stats, I mean, this guy's progressive passes received, shots, totals, and also, is the touches inside the opposition box. This is kind of communicating a player where, as he gets better and develops, he'll become a big difference maker for teams. And that's because, I don't know, I see him becoming more of like a wide forward. Yeah, he's more of a winger, but that ability to find himself in the books, some of this stuff is uncoachable. To be able to just have that type of, ability so young. He's a player that definitely frustrates, but I think to myself, when you're at Man United and you're a United fan and there's constantly pressure every game to try and succeed, and the players you're turning towards maybe a lot of guys maybe who shouldn't be at a level right now to be your match winners or influencers, you're going to maybe see every incident being worse than it is, right? But him coming to us, starting as a squad player, getting minutes off the bench, rotational minutes as well, this is an opportunity to take a bit of the spotlight and pressure away from him and allow him to kind of grow and fine-tune his game as well. I mean, it's something to think about. I mean, his contract expires in 2028. He's not on big money right now. And knowing how we just dish out these multi-year contracts for fun, there's potentially something here to work with for a pretty decent fee over the course of his contract length, where you think to yourself, already in the Premier League, he's showing that he's hacked the league physically, but now you're working upon the mental side and you're working upon a few technical sides of his game as well. Being a wide player, inside forward for Amarim, especially in the wing-back system, compared to being one at Chelsea under Maresca, are two completely different things. Look, great dead ball here, right to the far post, and moments like that, if you had a striker that was converting that, that's an assist for him. And then you look at his performances a little bit differently. And of course, this incredible goal, one of the best goals we've seen in the last decade. I mean, this is the bicycle kicker dreams that when all of us were youngest playing football, you're imagining having moments like this if you could make it as a footballer, right? And when you're pulling this off at, 18, 19, I mean, come on. This is a sensational goal. And it shows you that this kid has a bit of something to himself, right? I mean, look at his movement, far post. How often do we consistently see that from Noni and from Neto, for example? You know, it shows a willingness for himself to want to find himself in these positions. And he's got a great counter-attacking threat, which I feel will help him if he came here and if he is our super sub, if he is our rotational guy. I mean, we're seeing another opportunity here. We've had many players, Mudryk and co, with great pace, Neto, who don't find themselves in these positions. So, listen, doing it that young tells you there's a little bit of something to him, right? But it's these moments here to win the counter-attack. Look how he pulls off to the far side, looking for any potential pass across goal. And he sets up Amad Diallo, who's having a fantastic season. Let's keep things real. Examples here of Garnacho being a two-way threat. He can take it inside and use his left foot. That's how much he trusts himself. These are the type of skill sets that can only get fine-tuned as you get older. But again, shows great box presence, box movement. I have to say that this kid has a great confident mentality. And you need that, because I've seen many players, yeah, especially at our football club, where they lose it here. They lose it here, they never get it back, and they never become the player they could have become because, you know, the optics, the pressure, the eyes, the confidence, it left them, and they ended up becoming flops. But Garnacho is showing a lot of promising foundational properties in this game that I could understand why maybe the club feel going for an exciting rotational youth talent who has upsides to be that guy in the future. This is the move to make. Now, you guys, if you want to hear more of my thoughts and opinions, I suggest you watch my news video breaking it down. Listen, is he the one that I'd want to buy right now? Probably not. I'll keep it real. There's more ready-made talents I think this team could prosper from right now that I kind of be open to be honest with you. But equally, a part of me is accepting the reality that, you know, under this ownership, I'll be a club that's going to be paying 200,000 a week, 300,000 a week, even 150,000 a week for the best talents. That's something for all of us to think about. And I think in terms of Garnacho, even though he does frustrate, even though he will let you down because he isn't there just yet, I don't think that should take away from the overall qualities in this game that allowed him to announce himself in the manner he did last season. So my friends, where do you guys fall in this conversation? Is Garnacho just overrated and you can't stand him? Is your issue more in the fact that it's more youth for the future? Or are you someone that actually is a fan of Garnacho? You're looking at that incredible goal that he scored against Everton as well. I mean, one of the best goals actually in the last decade. Let's keep it real. And how many players even attempt something like that and can pull it off? Do you think there's something in the future for Alejandro? So let us know where you fall on this. I'll see you guys all soon. Cool.